This is Clear Cut. Welcome back. The UN atomic watchdog says that Iran is staying within the main restrictions of its 2015 nuclear agreement with the US and its allies. Details of a new International Atomic Energy Agency quarterly report were released by Reuters today, and it says Iran did not exceed the limits on its stocks of low-enriched uranium and heavy water. The report also says that Iran has notified the IAEA of its plans to build a naval nuclear propulsion facility in the future. Now, when asked for clarification about that, the IAEA said that it had yet to get a response from Iran. All right, let's bring in Ryan Mauro. He's a national security analyst with the Clarion Project. Ryan, always good to have you on the show. So the International Atomic Energy Agency saying Iran is complying. Given, for one thing, the limited inspections, how certain can they be of this?
Well, by the IAEA's own admission, they cannot confirm that Iran is not building nuclear weapons at sites that are undeclared. Keep in mind, every single nuclear site that we know of in Iran, we only know because we found out about it from sources inside Iran. It wasn't Iran voluntarily saying, hey, to the international community, this is what we have. In the interest of transparency, we want you to know everything we've got going. No, they were caught, forced to declare, and that's the extent of our knowledge, and the IAEA will say that openly.
What is interesting, though, is Iran is saying openly that it's developing a nuclear marine propulsion in reaction to what Iran is saying are U.S. violations of the nuclear deal. Well, firstly, what exactly is a naval nuclear propulsion system?
That would be a system to fuel something like a submarine or a naval vessel using a nuclear reactor. And basically, what that does is it produces the same nuclear fuel that any of these other nuclear sites would do that then can be transferred into bomb fuel. So it's the critical ingredient for creating a nuclear weapon. So what Iran is basically saying is that we might have to build these, the naval nuclear reactors, and then that means we will have to have uranium of a higher grade, bringing us closer to having a nuclear bomb, and you're going to have to put up with it. But it doesn't mean that we're going after the bomb. What Iran is also trying to say, aside from, hey, we may enrich uranium above the levels that we currently do, is that if the United States is talking about renegotiating the nuclear deal, well, then here are some of the cards that we are going to play, and we are unhappy over the fact that international businesses aren't doing enough work with us so that they can cash in on that blood money.
Right. As you say, Iran is threatening that it may pull out of the deal because of the atmosphere of uncertainty, which they say President Trump has created regarding investors coming, that's deterring foreign investors. So do you see Iran actually doing this? Do you see Iran pulling out, or is this an empty threat?
It's possible that Iran could pull out of the nuclear deal if the U.S. implements very tough sanctions, which are allowed under the nuclear deal. We are allowed to sanction them for violations of human rights and sponsorship of terrorism. If we implemented tough sanctions like that, it's possible Iran could leave the nuclear deal and make the mad dash towards a nuclear weapon. But what I've written years ago in an article called Iran's Script to Get the Bomb, what I felt was most likely is that Iran would find a pretext. Either there'd be an attack on Iran of a limited nature, or in this case, the U.S. would leave an agreement, and then they would say, okay, this shows that we're the good guys, and now we have the pretext to build the bomb. We didn't want to do it before, but we're going to do it now.
Why do they need the pretext? Who are they pretending for?
The reason is just part of a political strategy, so they can have a justification to leave the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, and they can say they can have Russia and China say Iran is innocent here, and we're not going to implement sanctions. It's political warfare. So
for the benefit of their relations with Russia and China. Ryan, always good to have you on the show. Ryan Mauro, national security analyst with the Clarion Project. Appreciate your time. Coming up, President Trump on guns. The president putting forth a number of proposals to try and make America's schools safer. Why some of his ideas may not go well with his base. And purging bots, or something more sinister perhaps, the latest accusations of liberal bias at Twitter.